Welcome to Destiny Children's TV.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Yo, welcome to Destiny Children's TV. It's fantastic to see you today. We are so excited about what's coming up today. We're going to be doing worship and crafts and so much more, and continuing our series on Heroes of Faith. But before we do that, we need to worship God. So get ready to move about and to praise Jesus with your whole body as we get ready to worship God.
In my wrestling and in my doubt, in my failures, you won't walk out. Your great love will lead me through. You are the peace in my troubled sea. You are the peace in my troubled sea. In the silence you won't let go. In my questions your truth will hold. Your great love will lead me through. You are the peace in my troubled sea. You are the peace in my troubled sea. My lighthouse, shining in the darkness, I will follow you. My lighthouse, I will trust the promise. You will carry me safe to shore. Safe to shore. Safe to shore. I won't fear what tomorrow brings. With each morning I'll rise and sing. My God's love will lead me through. You are the peace in my troubled sea. You are the peace in my troubled sea. My lighthouse, shining in the darkness, I will follow you. My lighthouse, I will trust the promise. You will carry me safe to shore. Safe to shore. Safe to shore. The power of sin and darkness, whose love is mighty and so much stronger. The King of glory, the King above all kings, who shakes the whole earth with holy thunder and leaves us breathless in awe and wonder. The King of glory, King above all kings. This is amazing grace. This is unfailing love. That you would take my place. That you would bear my cross. You would lay down your life. That I would be set free. I sing for all that you've done for me. Who brings our chaos back into order? Who makes the orphans a son and daughter? The King of glory, the King above all kings. With truth and justice, shines like the sun in all of its brilliance. The King of glory, the King above all kings. This is amazing grace. This is unfailing love. That you would take my place. That you would bear I sing for all that you've done for me. This is amazing grace. This is unfailing love. That you would take my place, that you would bear my cross, you would lay down your life, that I would be set free. Oh, Jesus, I sing for all that you've done for me.
We all come in different shapes and sizes. Life is full of many surprises, but one thing stays the same: Jesus is on my side. I don't need to be afraid, I don't need to run and hide. When I open my Bible, it's clear as can be. The God that I read about's with me, and I'm gonna be a giant of faith. Like Moses and Joseph, Daniel, Esther, Rahab and Ruth, no denying the truth. The giants of faith, and like David, Elijah, Noah and the rest of the team, I'm gonna be a giant of faith. I'm gonna be a giant of faith. Every day we always stick together, hand in hand, through every adventure. When I'm playing with my friends, or when I go to sleep, I know you are always there, and angels are watching me. When I open my Bible, it's clear as can be. The God that I read about's with me, and I'm gonna be a giant of faith. Like Moses and Joseph, Daniel, Esther, Rahab and Ruth, no denying the truth. The giants of faith, and like David, Elijah, Noah and the rest of the team, I'm gonna be a giant of faith. I'm gonna be a giant of faith. By faith I can do anything. By faith I can do anything. By faith I can do anything. Like Moses and Joseph, Daniel, Esther, Rahab and Ruth, no denying the truth. The giants of faith, and like David, Elijah, Noah and the rest of the team, I'm gonna be a giant of faith. I'm gonna be a giant of faith.
Good morning to you all. What a great time we've had. Lovely worship and word. It's not too bad. Now my name is Grandma. You may already know I'm part of Destiny Children's TV. What a great show. You might know my friend Dusty. He's always telling jokes. Sometimes people laugh, but they're just strange folks. We had a new addition to our house the other week, a crazy one called Ziggy. When I saw him, he made me shriek. Now, we all love each other so very, very much. I even ring them up so I can stay in touch. We try so really hard to be the best we can. We try to keep our promises and lend a helping hand. But no matter what we do, we might make a mistake. We might break our promises or cause them heartache. But I've got a secret, something I'm going to tell. There is someone who never makes a mistake, and he keeps his promises as well. Of course, I bet you've guessed it. It's God. I'm sure you knew. He's the only one who could ever see us through. He's there in the morning. He's there in the night. He watches over us. Nothing gives him a fright. So there's one thing to remember. From this old gal to you, God always keeps his promises, and he'll never miss his cue.
The Faithful Hall of Fame. Sarah. This is Sarah. Sarah was Abraham's wife. One day, as Abraham sat near the entrance of his tent, God appeared to him. Abraham looked up and 3 men stood before him. God promised Abraham that he and Sarah would someday have a son. In fact, God promised Abraham that he would have many children. Even more than the stars in the sky. Now, Sarah was very old when God made this promise. When she heard that God promised to give her a child, she laughed. The messenger of God stopped Sarah. He asked, "Is anything too hard for the Lord?" Sarah chose to trust God, and she became pregnant and she gave birth to a son. The son's name was Isaac. God's promises came true for Abraham and Sarah. Abraham became the father of many nations, and from his child came children, and from their children, more children, until Abraham's descendants were truly more numerous than the stars in the sky. Abraham and Sarah trusted God for the promise and believed that God was faithful.
In that story, we heard about God making a promise to Abraham. Abraham didn't believe the promise at first, neither did Sarah, but it came true. The great thing about God is that all of his promises are true, and all of his promises will happen. And so the great thing is that when we hear about these promises, we know that they can happen in our lives as well. Do you want to hear about these promises? I can't hear you. Do you want to hear about these promises? I still can't hear you. You've got to shout it. Do you want to hear about these promises? Wow. Okay, let me tell you God's promise to you. Are you ready? It's in here. All this. God's promises to you. That's a lot of promises. So many promises that God has made to you for your life. I want to read just some of them to you. Psalm 145 verse 9 says, "The Lord is good to all. He has compassion to all he has made." Isaiah 40:31 says, "But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not grow straight." What about Proverbs 3 verse 5 to 6? "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, do what God says and he will make your journey straight. 2 Corinthians 9 verse 8 says, and God is able to bless you abundantly so that in all things and all times, having all you need, you will do amazing good works. Wow, the Bible is full of good promises to you. The Bible is full of amazing things that God says he will do for you when we do what he says. Let's really enjoy those promises. Let's really have faith for those promises. Let's not be like Abraham and Sarah, who at first laughed and said it's never going to happen. But let's say, yes, God, it's going to happen. And we are so thankful for your promises. Why not sit down with your grown-ups and start to read some of these promises at some point this week? You know, every week we do a colouring sheet on destinychurch.co.uk. This week we're going to add to that colouring sheets some promises. A sheet that highlights some of the promises, because there's so many you can't fit them all on, that God says about you. Why not take that sheet, sit down together and read them and thank God for his promises and start to feel excited about the things that he's going to be doing in your life. God bless.
Good morning, everyone. Got a nice easy one for you today. So I have made a fish from a toilet roll middle. They're very useful toilet roll middles, aren't they? And obviously some googly eyes. So I'll show you how to do that now. Okay, so here's my blank toilet roll. I have pre-painted this just so that it's ready for this morning and all dry. You can decorate this however you like. You can stick some paper on it, you can colour it in with marker pens, anything your little heart desires. So once it is ready, once you're happy with it, you just need to give it a little squish. Now it doesn't have to be folded down flat, just squished enough that we can cut it. And you'll see here with this one, we have just left some pieces joined together just so that you get a double-sided 3D fish rather than just one. So, first things first. We need to cut these ends off just to give it a rounded face. You can draw this in advance if you want to, if you're a little bit worried. And obviously get an adult to help you with the scissors because this is quite thick to cut. And then we need to cut the tail, which basically just needs a couple of triangles cut out. One from the top and one from the bottom. Now, instead of doing a straight triangle, I have done a little bit of an angle just to give him a bit of body shape. There we go, all done. And once it's done, just give it a little bit of a squish back out again so you get your 3D shape back again. And then we get the fun part, we get to decorate it. Now, because I have put paint on this, it doesn't really like marker pens very much. So what I did with the other one, and what I will do with this one, is just get a little bit of paint on a small brush and do some squiggles in a different colour. But you can do whatever you like. So you could stick paper on this. You could, again, use marker pens or paint. Decorate it however you like. Okay, so I have finished decorating my fish. And don't forget to do both sides because it is a 3D fish. So all I need to do now is glue my eyes on. And as always, if you don't have googly eyes or you're not a fan, then you can just draw some eyes on. Or you could just stick circles of paper on. Or it could be a special fish. It doesn't even have to have eyes. One for each side because, again, it is a 3D fish. And there we go, all finished. Now can swim around with its little friend. So again, have fun everybody and be creative. And don't forget to send your videos in to Pastor Steve so that we can all enjoy seeing what you've made during the week. And have a good week.
Hey, that was some wonderful crafts there, Jackie.
Yes, thank you so much for week after week giving us great fun things for us all to join in with. Thank you so much. We have worksheets online, guys, so go to destinychurch.co.uk. You'll find a memory verse for every single episode, plus other things to do as well. So get involved, colouring those, having fun with those, learning those memory verses too.
Yeah, we've had so much fun today. It's been great learning about Abraham and Sarah and how we can trust God's promises.
Yep.
Remember, you can subscribe to our channel. Click on the bell to get notifications and you will see all the information about Destiny Wakefield's uploads.
So have a great week, everyone. Let's all remember to please God, to have the faith that he wants. Have a great week. We'll see you again soon.
Bye.
Oh, safe to shore. Oh, safe to shore. what tomorrow brings. With each morning I'll rise and sing. My God's love will lead me through. You are the peace in my troubled sea. You are the peace in my troubled sea. My lighthouse, shining in the darkness, I will follow you. My lighthouse, I will trust the promise. You will carry me safe to shore. Oh, 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 safe to shore. Oh, 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 safe to shore.